And thank you for being here. And as I was just mentioning before I hit record, we've got about 7 people that responded with interest in participation. And most said they couldn't make it this morning at 9 o'clock. So 9 a.m. is probably not a convenient time. And the goal of today is just to get an introduction to what it's about and confirm interest. We're going to see a video. It's about a 4-minute video I'm going to play shortly. We'll discuss what the opportunity is about, and then we'll follow up and see what the plan is and direction we're going to head into. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and pop the video. And let's go over to MonsoonSIM. So just some background, MonsoonSIM out of Malaysia is a company that formed this computer simulation. And I've done simulations before with a bunch of folks. I used to do with high school students, and it was a 2.5-day process. There are business simulations that a lot of schools use as almost like a capstone in their programs to see how students interact in business. And so this is part of a learning experience, but an opportunity to dive deeper into what business is about. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video. It'll give you some insight into what MonsoonSIM is, and we'll take a look and talk about it in a minute.
Enterprise business process is complicated. A typical business process involves many business departments. Learning a business concept, say accounting, can be very difficult and downright boring if you do not appreciate the application of accounting in real life. This is especially true if you are not aware of how accounting is related to other departments. What if we gave you a scenario, a simulated platform where you can manage your own company? And what if you can experience how accounting can help you manage your own company's cash flow, income, and profitability? Now learning becomes interesting, isn't it? This is why we have developed the award-winning MonsoonSIM Business Process Experiential and Simulation Learning Platform. First, we identify all the different business departments involved in a typical enterprise business, such as finance department, procurement department, and so on. Then we develop numerous simple business concepts associated with each of these departments. We call these micro-concepts. Wish to get a sense of what these concepts are? Okay, let's have a peek. Now that we've built these concepts, we then allow our learners to learn business process horizontally from one end to the other in the form of an immersive, fun, exciting business game. As learners become familiar with the basic business concepts, the teacher, whom we call a certified facilitator, can create a more complex business environment, which involves more micro-concepts. Again, the learners learn processes that involve multiple departments across different business units horizontally. And when the learners are ready and eager to learn more, the certified facilitator can open up more and more concepts. Indeed, within a few hours, learners will learn concepts that would never have been learned in the entire semester or working months. Taking it further, facilitators can configure business scenarios that put emphasis on different areas. For example, a retail business that relies solely on e-commerce, or a service business with high employee turnover. Learning with MonsoonSIM can take place in a matter of hours for conceptual understanding, or up to a few weeks for real in-depth understanding and analysis. So far, we have shown the design principles of MonsoonSIM. Now let's look at other features provided by MonsoonSIM. The facilitators can set up teams and players, timing, tempo, robots, scoring criteria, live observations, feedbacks, quizzes, and self-assessments. The facilitators can choose to configure the customers, the suppliers, the products, the services, the warehouse, the retail stores, the logistics, the employees, the machines, the currency, the banks, the interest rates, credit terms, loan terms, approval processes, active departments, and the e-commerce characteristics. The facilitators can also have access to supporting tools such as resources, report generators, course wizards, micro-concept teaching, and data export for analytic studies. In summary, MonsoonSIM is a platform where certified facilitators can configure various business environments and let learners learn through self-discovery, learn from each other, and learn from their own experiences. Learning begins with a simple environment that gets more and more complex as business complexity increases and cross-departmental transactions multiply. So there you have it, the MonsoonSIM Business Process Experiential and Simulation Learning Platform. After all, why study like this when the real world is like this? MonsoonSIM, easier to teach, more to teach, easier to learn, more to learn.
Okay, so that's the overview. That gives you a flavor, a taste of what the MonsoonSIM system is about. I'm just going to go, rather than do a fancy PowerPoint, I just put together a document that I want to share. I can turn off.
The business.
Close that out. I apologize for that. So I always like to start with a WIFM, which I call not a radio station, but what's in it for me? What is the reason you may want to participate? And this is, by the way, the perspective I take whenever I do advertising, whenever I draft something. You should think about this whenever you go on an interview, what's in it for the employer. Take the perspective of the other person you're talking to. So I'm trying to take the perspective of you, of what's in it for you, not necessarily me. So what can we talk about that you'll get benefits? So, yep, learning is a good thing. You get exposure to a variety of aspects of running a business and operating a business, and how they integrate, how they pull together. There's also something called, I call Meet Your Fellow Future Alumni. These are the folks that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, hopefully you'll be familiarity with. One might be selling insurance, another might be consulting in business, another might be a banker, another might be an accountant, another might be a marketing or social media guru. So those are the folks you're going to want to be talking to and getting to know. And if you get them to know while you're here, whether it's MonsoonSIM or another area that will let you do that, more power to you. You do get professional activity credit, and in my classes, extra credit. And even if you don't have me, it's future extra credit for potential as well. Idea of competition. It's a game. It's a simulation. It's an idea of time to compete and to win. Nothing wrong with victory. Develop some skills like leadership skills and communication skills. You participate as part of a team. You compete as a team, and you become mutually dependent for other skills that each of you has, and you each contribute in your own way to the greater good, to making it successful. It's also kind of a cool resume stuffer, LinkedIn stuffer, having something on your resume different. And I've interviewed thousands, read resumes and LinkedIn profiles of thousands. I've had a number of businesses. I want to find something different about you when I'm reading a resume that I can tag and say, oh, so you've been to Greece. What was that all about? Or you participated in a business simulation? What'd you do with that? FMU Glory. So it's a competition. And part of the competition, hopefully, is winning in competition and ultimately getting bragging rights, recognition by the school, by each other, and by the global community, as well as winning cash. So those are all elements that are, I think, pretty powerful in making a case for participation and getting involved. And you saw this picture in the email. You also just saw it on the video. And you're seeing that there's a lot of aspects to business that a facilitator or ultimately me could set up. And you start out competing at one or two areas. You start building some stores and retail. Then you start going with the logistics of ordering. And then you start going in, should I manufacture internally or order from the outside? MRP, material requirements planning type systems, expansion, growth, management from HR, considerations for marketing. You have the opportunity to buy marketing reports, demographic reports of customers, information, procurement, supply chain, a whole bunch of stuff going into business. Not to overwhelm you yet, because there's a whole bunch of things that could be turned on and off. It's something that we build up, we phase into. And so we're not going to just throw you to the wolves and say, here, go try this and see how you do, although we may try that too. So that's the gist of it. That's the opportunity. And that's what we're doing. The competition starts the end of October, November timeframe, and that runs for 2-3 weeks. There's some teams and fairly new product. They're just trying to break into the US market. I mentioned in the email, they have Penn State University that's been doing it for 2 years. They have a high university that's been doing it for a year. They've got a number of folks in Australia, Malaysia, and a couple more folks in the States and in Europe, Germany as well. So they're growing and they're trying to make a difference. Cost of participation for this semester is zero. If we're successful and we want to do it in future semesters, we have resources to try to find funds and not put the burden on our students to pay for the membership and the participation. But they're trying to break in, and we've basically been able to do a 30 to 60 day trial. We've got a trial till the end of December so that we can work with it, we can actually compete with it and see how it works out for us. Positions, we're looking for a game master, actually a co-game master that's going to help coordinate. Sounds like 9 a.m. on a Thursday morning is not the ideal time to get together. And I know even one of you is at work right now, so I appreciate your indulgence. So maybe 6, 7 p.m. weekdays or 9 or 10 a.m. on a Saturday. Question might be, what's your commitment? And someone was saying, well, how much time might I take? As a team member, probably at least once a week, 1 to 3 hours. We're going to be doing competitions. We're going to be doing, we're going to, as a team, be participating. Now, we also, to prep, might be doing that a couple times a week. We're going to ask for a minimum participation of once a week. But if we do it a couple times a week, the better you get, the more practice you get, the more involved you get, the more successful you will be. So ideally, if you can do it more than once a week, yes, that would be preferred. But if you're only available once a week, you've got other studies, you've got work commitments, you've got other obligations. We're not trying to nab you and say, this is a 30-hour week job, and it's not. It's more of a couple hours. It's like I say, 1 to 3 is the intent, but it's going to be something that I hope and should and could make a difference career-wise. You might also find out some things that you like and some things that you don't like. I've had students do programs and they say, this accounting stuff was pretty cool, or this accounting stuff is pretty boring. And they realize that, well, and I tell my students all the time, I'm a CPA, but I'm not a tax guy. I interned, essentially, I ran an H&R Block office when I was in college. And I said, taxes aren't for me. And I still became an accountant, but that's not my thing. I actually have to hire an accountant to do my taxes. But that's okay. It's nice to find things you like. It's nice to find things you don't like. That's what internships are about as well. But this experiential learning using a business simulation such as MonsoonSIM is a pretty powerful offering. So that's what we have to offer. That's what we're talking about. That's the gist of where we're going. And folks on the call, I'm going to just open up the communications again and tell me what you think. And if you can, in your mind, say 2 good things that you saw, that sounds pretty cool, and 2 negative things that may be not so cool or may impinge on your ability to jump in and make it work. And you can say, no, nothing good and too bad. You can say, oh, too good, nothing bad. Talk to me. What do you think about the opportunity to participate? And either Juliana or Gabrielle.
I think that a good thing about it is, well, I know like the professional activities to me kind of just are annoying. I don't know, I know they're helpful, but they just add something else on. I think this is like a fun way to get credit for a professional activity. And also like a fun way to like broaden what you know about business and stuff like that. But then I think bad things are like, we already have tons of school. Like I work 2 jobs. So like, am I really going to be able to fit that in with everything else? But that's really the only bad that I could think of.
Legitimate concern, but I like what you're saying about the opportunity to not only get the credit, but get it in kind of a fun way. And that's kind of a cool perspective. Gabrielle?
It's Gabriel, but it's interesting because like it helps me understand business. I'm a junior. It's my first year, so it's gonna help me out. It's gonna help me out during like my last 3 years, so I can narrow my major down. So that's gonna be fun, and it's a new opportunity. Like I haven't done this. I didn't do this in high school, so this is gonna be interesting.
Downsides?
I don't really see that much, but it's like not really for me for right now. Right now, I don't really see any downsides. So
And it's also interesting when you take an intro to business course, which is a background course that gets you exposed to management, finance, operations, marketing, legal orientations, a variety of backgrounds. It's nice to have the intro course. It's nice to have a capstone course that integrates the learning you've taken in these all single or multiple semester courses in finance, economics, accounting, business management, marketing, whatever it might be. And having something like this integrating whether it's at the beginning of your college career where you get exposed to business or towards the end of your college career. And I'm going to say that loosely because the end of a college career doesn't mean you graduate and you never take school again. It does mean that you have a certain level of knowledge and experience, though, that you're ready to graduate and that you're ready to apply in the business world. So the perspectives you gain and the experience, and this is helping many folks that I've talked to, and I've been through 2 days of training, 2.5 days of training on this as a facilitator. So I do have some insight and perspective. And I've talked to a number of people before I presented it to you folks about participating. And the benefits really are you get exposure, you get understanding. And I tell you folks about internships. You know what's even better for an internship that you like and have a great experience is one that you don't like and have a terrible experience, because you can then say why I didn't like taxes. Cool, I didn't waste my time for 2 years after graduation being a tax accountant. You can get exposure to an area and say, this supply chain stuff is kind of neat. I can get more into that, or maybe the marketing aspects, or the human resource aspects, or the accounting and finance aspects. Those are kind of, actually, that's pretty powerful. And the numbers aren't that hard, too hard. So maybe this is an added benefit when you participate and get involved. You start saying, I kind of like this, I'm not so into this, and this is going to help me focus career and direction of what I want to do. So an internship that you have a lousy experience with and you can analyze why, it's not necessarily a bad experience, just an experience that you don't want to repeat. It gives you perspective. Any experience is a good experience. That's been my attitude in life. And I've had, like I say, a lot of businesses, a lot of activities. And I've been a full-time academic for 14 years, but before that, entrepreneurial. So I have a business perspective. And what I've seen in MonsoonSIM, giving that business perspective is pretty powerful. And it's fast-paced. When you play the game, the simulations, it's not a 2-week simulation. It's a simulation, it's a run. It runs, you're running years in minutes. And you're going and saying, okay, how are we doing? Okay, let's make some more decisions. How are we doing? Let's make some more decisions. And you see the direct results of those in pretty short order. So it's a pretty powerful offering, and it's pretty exciting that I've seen. When I ran this, I did this. I went through it, and I saw how we did and how we competed. And although I wasn't part of a team, I was competing as a member. We had a number of people that were competing individually that were in training. But I think the team aspect is even powerful. And like I said in the email, if you can be a CEO, a CFO, a CMO, a CIO, and take that title and throw it on a resume or a LinkedIn profile, you now have something to talk about when you're interviewing. So I'm going to go ahead, and now we're going to talk about where we go from here and the thoughts of direction. Like I said, it looks like 9 a.m. Thursday morning is not going to be an ideal time. Neither is 9:30. I'm guessing between school schedules and work schedules, that time is limited. So I'm going to open up the floor and just get a feel for what times do you think are going to be more applicable, better to get together, and even on your own schedule. Like I say, we only have 2 of you now. We have 5 or 6 others that have emailed interest and said, well, I couldn't make our 9 o'clock meeting, but there is desire to participate. So I'm going to ask you guys, what's your timing? And like really, one of you is working right now, and I know that time is limited. So, and Julianne, I do appreciate you being here and participating, and Gabrielle as well. But if you could tell me what times work best for you. Do you prefer weekends, non-weekends, evenings, early morning, any 6 a.m. risers or midnight sleepers? We'll go one at a time. Gabrielle, what do you think are good times to plan for a 1 to 2 hour block to get together, to compete, to learn, to share?
I would choose, like, if we're going to, like, during the week, a little later than 9 o'clock. I mean, like, mid, like around, like, 3 if there is no like around 2 or 3 or like in between like 1 p.m. to a little later on because typically people still have still like like even though that people are still 'cause, like even in the mornings you'd rather not do the morning because like usually people have stuff going on in schoolwork and like I mean like mid-afternoon like
So I'm hearing after 2, 3 o'clock is going to be,
and sure you can have organized stuff like that.
okay, so after 2
Weekends,
o'clock is what I'm hearing?
what?
After 2 or 3 in the afternoon is what I'm hearing in general?
Yeah.
And how late?
If you want to go weekend, I mean, the latest should be
Go to bed really early, I have to say.
Okay.
5 o'clock at the least. 5 o'clock, because like you typically anything later than that, it gets to the point of like, do I? Because people get lazy around like certain
Okay.
periods of time. Some people do other stuff. Usually, once 7 o'clock is like is too late. People are already. It's too late to 8 o'clock. 6 o'clock, possibly 5. Man,
Okay, so and weekends, what would weekends be, or you try to keep those sacred?
I'm I'm okay if I really like it, if I'm really into it, I'll do a weekend. Not all the time, but I'll do a weekend if I have to.
So what time on a Saturday, for instance? It's the same.
Probably in the afternoon. Yeah, same deal. Because like no one wants to wake up on a Saturday, early morning in the Saturday. It's like they really have to. If we really need to do it in the early in the morning, then I'll do it. But I won't be happy about it. But I'll do it.
Okay, and early means anytime before noon. Is that what I'm hearing? So,
That's my take on it. So
okay, Juliana, what's your ideal schedule or availability or preferred timing?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think afternoons, like, after 3:30 or 4, we're usually pretty much done with school. I guess then it'll just be figuring out what days people work and stuff like that. Because, like I work until either 5 or 6, so I guess it just depends on that. But like when I get off work at 6, I'm ready to be done.
Yep, long
So
day.
I know, like, you would say like, well, let's do it after 6. But like when I'm off, I'm ready to like just eat dinner and go to bed. I'm done for the day after that.
Okay, yeah, you have long days and two plus jobs. You're hustling. I hear you. How about weekend timing?
I would say maybe Sunday afternoons, kind of like, I don't know. I kind of spend Sundays like getting myself caught up and stuff like that. So Sunday afternoon, sometimes I'm sort of free. And I guess if you want to do it on Saturdays, I would say, maybe not too late. But I don't know. I go to bed early and get up early. So I guess my opinion's different than Gabriel's because I would rather wake up and do it so then I could have the rest of my Saturday to do whatever I want to do, like that doesn't involve school or anything like that. So I guess I would say like 10 o'clock in the morning, somewhere in there. But I don't know. I guess it just depends on everybody else's schedule too.
So what I'm hearing, I'm going to scan a screen. I'm going to share a screen right now, and just based on the two of you, the feedback I got, timing. If it's weekdays, it's either 2 to 6 kind of time frame, or even better after 4 p.m. So maybe a 4 to 6 time frame. Kind of stay away from the evenings. Saturday, I'm hearing either 10 to 1 or 2 to 6, same afternoon type time frame. And Sundays, possibly afternoon, 2 to 6 as well. And I mean, this is preliminary. The two of you, is that what I'm hearing? Again, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, other than this is what I'm hearing through.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, that seems straight for right now. Just like you don't want to obligate people to you have to come to this. So if you don't want to make them seem like that forced to open their schedule up, change some stuff, but like, it's all right.
Okay. So I guess the 2 to 6 or the 4 to 6 weekday, the 2 to 6 Saturday or Sunday is kind of what I'm seeing as the ideal timing tentatively. But again, there's other people involved. I'd like to get their input too. And after this session, I'm going to draft an email. I'm going to attach this video, this recording. Actually, I'll make it a YouTube and link to it. We'll have a link to the other MonsoonSIM. And the other opportunity is going to be to see about getting a team together and doing an actual simulation. So we're going to do a practice round. We're going to see how it feels. We're going to see what's involved, and nothing fancy, but it's going to be an introduction, hands-on. This was the overview. This was the orientation. And like I say, I'll get this distributed out and emailed out. And then we're going to go see. Were either you or both of you interested in being a game master?
I did not know what a game master was, so I have to figure it out as I go. So,
okay. And a game master is basically helping coordinate and work with others. It'll take a little extra time. It would be a leadership role, and again, something you can put on a resume. Says you're a game master. What the heck's a game master? Okay. Dungeons and Dragons? Am I a game master? D&D? Nah, not quite. Business simulation game master. But again, it gives you added insight, added leadership role, and hopefully if this kicks off, it's a growth role and more of a club activity, and it might be integrated into some of the academics that go with that. So in the program with other teachers. So I'm hearing but by the way, I've actually signed up for things not knowing what they were. I was in the Navy, and the motto was never volunteer. You know, if you actually seen the line that says, take one step forward if you want to help, and everybody takes one step back. And if you didn't take the step back, you were now one step forward. The same thing when I was presenting at conferences. They said, would you like to be a discussant of a paper? And I didn't know what a discussant was because I had reviewed some papers and provide input in a conference. And I checked, sure, I'll be a discussant. So for a national conference, I was discussing for 2 papers. What does it mean? I review the papers for content, and I give feedback to these folks that have dedicated resources to presenting and coordinating. It might be a dissertation, it might be a published paper, or even a text that they've defined or cases they developed. But it was kind of fun. It was kind of interesting. And so the never volunteer, I've fallen off of that one, said, grab the experience. Because I've learned more from failures than I have from successes. And the same thing I was talking about internships earlier. I'd rather you have a bad internship as long as you have also good ones. Just one's not enough for an internship, by the way. You really want multiple internships to have multiple experiences. Over half the people, by the way, that get their jobs after graduation, get them from their internships. They're going to get job offers. So that's another pitch. But this will help you understand business, understand the integration of business. Because faculty members, we're in our silos. I'm an accountant. And I'll talk to the marketing folks, and I'll talk to the finance folks, and I'll talk to the management folks. And we just had a meeting yesterday, and we talked to everybody. And we have a business advisory council that I participate in from folks from the community, from vertical areas, yet working together on a common goal to help FMU and the School of Business. So it's nice to broaden that perspective. And I appreciate you being here and your commitment to your own professional development to understand that and to learn that. So we're here as a team. And we're going to either form 1 or 2 teams. I'm also going to say, spread the word. To be more successful, if we can have more teams that can compete, when I send you the link, if you have anybody else that you think might be interested that couldn't be on the call this morning or may not have, they may have clicked. I know so many people that have thousands of emails they have not opened yet. And with that in mind, some of the folks I sent emails to, they may have trashed them. It's only one. And you know as well as I do, marketing is repetitive. So you got to hit 3, 4, 5, 10 times before something starts to hit. So I admire you answering one email and maybe hearing about it in class and saying, yeah, this sounds kind of interesting. This sounds like it will help. It'll help me grow, help me learn, help me develop, and have something else in my gun for shooting. and say, and just something, another skill set that will add to your skill, to your abilities. So with that in mind, I'll put this out. If you can think of other folks that you might like to participate, and they don't have to be business students. Ideally, they need to have a business interest, otherwise why do it? But they may be liberal arts, and I've had biology majors in my accounting classes, art majors, nurses in my accounting classes, and they get a lot out of it. So participating in a business simulation, somebody that's entrepreneurial that you know, that might be wanting to start their own business, this again gives you a broader perspective and understanding. So keep that in mind. I will send that out, and then I'll open the floor to any final questions you might have. But ultimately, we're probably going to tag a meeting for next week based on the response that I get in the email that I send out, which will be sent out. Today's Thursday. It'll be sent out by midnight tonight. And hopefully I have feedback by Sunday, and we'll set up another meeting for next week and keep this moving along, keep this moving forward. So any other parting thoughts? And I'll give each one of you a forum for, however long it takes. Gabrielle, you're off mute, so you get to go first. Anything else?
Sure.
Any thoughts?
Not really, not much. I'm just eager to meet everyone else and see how things go forward.
Excellent. And Juliana?
No, I don't have anything else. I'm good.
Is this something you both are interested in pursuing, or did I talk you out of it?
Not really. I'm in abroad, so I'm just trying to narrow it down. So just gonna help.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is you want to participate.
I'm interested. I just.
Like I'm that efficacy
What do you think?
management.
Go ahead, Juliana.
Okay. I'm interested. I'm also in ADPI, so sometimes that takes up a lot of time too. And I'm the finance person at ADPI, so that takes up a lot of my time. So I guess what my thing is if I can fit it in, I will want to do it. But if I can't, then I'm not going to stress myself out about it because I do a lot, I guess.
Yeah, you do a lot. Is once a week workable to get you going?
Yeah, I think so. It depends. My weeks vary on how much I have to do.
Of course.
So I don't know. I guess I'll just have to see.
Are weekends easier for you based on commitments, do you think, or weekdays?
Probably weekdays.
Right, weekdays. Okay. Gabrielle, any other thoughts?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, looking forward to having you on board. Again, pass the word and share the email I send to you. There'll be, like I say, 2 links, one to this video and one to the video that you actually saw as part of it, and get some insights. And we'll keep you in the loop and look forward to getting back together. I thank you both, and I hope that we'll be able to kick this off and make a difference and get you some recognition. And the school likes these kind of activities too. Not only is it good for you individually, but the school recognizes your participation. That's why it took that long for Dr. Hari to say, yeah, we'll give credit for this. And he actually I didn't even ask that. He initiated that conversation, said we can use this for professional activity credit. So I didn't turn him down. So thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your interest, and thank you for your commitment to your own personal and professional development. And we look forward to moving forward. Thank you both.